Oh, it's spicy.
So the Warriors have to play 48 minutes.
So I see this going 7. I have it. I have the Nuggets in 7.
Ant-Man, Batman, Watchmen, Lakers at 5.
It's money time now.
What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube streets? How you doing? This your boy, King Speaks Row. I apologize for the delay in getting it started. We had a couple of things. I mean, the game was going on almost.
Yeah, my bad. It was my fault.
That's all good. Yeah. Don't even worry about it because I know most of you guys are watching the game. We're down in the last 4 minutes. Minnesota's at least making it interesting. It's an 11-point game by my stream, and So let's get down to it. Hey, Garth, what's going on? Okay, yeah. He wants to get on Randall. I think Randall got assists tonight. Randall got assists tonight, as far as I saw with the box score. It's been they've adjusted. They've adjusted to guarding Randall. But okay, one bad game in the playoffs, and now all of a sudden Randall is a playoff choker again. I get it. Let's get down to the chokes. Let's get down to the whole. I know why we came here and look. The last night was not fun. It was not fun. It was fun until it wasn't. Right, and again, I want you to look. Your boy is okay. Like I'm unwavered. This is what it is to be a Knicks fan, man. Like, and it just like, let me tell you something, man. I'm not on this. Why us? I don't believe it. Like we people. I actually saw somebody write out. Right, it wasn't a tweet. One on Instagram. It was on Facebook. They wrote a status. There need to be a supernatural, like they call it supernatural, the whole situation with the Knicks and Pacers, right? And look, you're talking about this is my 9th series with Knicks and Pacers. I remember where I was when Reggie Miller threw up the choke sign of Spike Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that game on TV. I remember what I was, game 1. Game 1 in '95 with when he pushed over Greg Anthony, put his hands up, even when he recalls that as an announcer now, he says, I didn't push him there. Oh, dude, really? You didn't? Just right there, you just admitted you push him. Okay. But and I was there for the missed finger roll. And I was there, and I was the 4-point play. I'm trying to remember what I was because I was that was my first. That was second year in the Marines, actually. That was my first year in in my duty station. Now I was down in Beaufort. So I do remember. I think we might have because I remember that was a lockout short season, and I deployed to Hungary during the Kosovo crisis. And so the finals I couldn't see. I couldn't even watch the finals. I had to watch everything on tape delay. When I got off, we used to do 12-hour shifts.
Okay,
because that was technically. Yeah, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it live. I could see it tape delayed, and we would get it. They would have an entertainment tent for us to go to, and so because technically we were at war, right? So I was air wing, so it's not like I'm it's not like I'm in the trenches or anything. I'm on a camp when we're building, I was aviation ordnance, so we was building bombs. So we had 12-hour shifts on and off 7 days a week, but I would always have, in the morning, we would work overnight. So I would get in the morning. Remember, we're 6 hours ahead. So again, you're not getting you're not getting so you're going to sit there and remember, there's internet, but there's no, there's none of that Google. I don't have, those smartphones or nothing like that.
No.
So, but yeah, at the end of the day, I kind of knew what was going to happen, especially when you had no win in the first place. Canby was hobbled up and all that. But look, it's been a lot of ups and downs, bro. And one thing I want to say, the Knicks because they're New York. As I told you last night, man, the teams in the Final Four, No one has won a championship since this. The only franchise that's in the remaining Final Four won. I'm 46, and they won the year I was born. Okay, that would be the Seattle Supersonics, which is now the OKC Thunder. And even once they put the team back in Seattle, the OKC Thunder will become the OKC Thunder, right? And the Sonics will kind of get their history back. I don't even, because I kind of look, with the Hornets in New Orleans, right? There's one point where they cease becoming the Hornets, and like Larry Johnson played for the Pelicans, right? And Alonzo Mourning was drafted by the Pelicans. He wasn't drafted by the Hornets. But it was similar to the Cleveland Browns, how the Cleveland Browns got their history back from the Baltimore Ravens. Sort of something like that, right?
Yeah,
the Cleveland Browns, like the Cleveland Browns, but the Baltimore Ravens are the Cleveland Browns that Jim Brown played for, right?
Yep.
But now they're it's because sometimes it's just like the Sonics should have never lost the Thunder. They should have came up with an expansion team of some sort, but it didn't work out like that. A lot of things, man. Listen, the conversation I just had over at FYF, a lot of people don't know a lot of things about the history, and that's why this is why I want to get on to, because the history. Guys keep telling me history, and it's easy it's like low hanging fruit. If you want to tease a Knicks fan today, you want to say history. Look, the Knicks have never done shit. The Knicks have never. But what have the Pacers done? I mean, I'm serious. What have the Pacers done? The Pacers have been in one final, and they're now 50. This will be the 49th year that they've been in the NBA. They've been in one finals. And the Knicks in the same time span have been in two. We've been in 9 NBA finals. We're 2-7 in the finals. We've been in 9 NBA finals. We've been to 20-something conference finals, I believe. Many times that we lost to Bill Russell and them and all that. So again, if you're gonna talk history with me, I'm a historian. I know the history. It's low-hanging fruit to talking to me. I know you're talking to the young Knicks fans that don't research. As I said, man, bro, the history. This is a great, Harry Gallen. What is? Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Harry Gallen, my resident old head, man. You know what I'm saying?
History with you, yeah. What's up, Woodage?
Yeah, man. Like, if you want to talk history, know the history, bro. Willis Reed and them. See, I think the thing that cats don't realize is us Knicks fans are proud because we battle. We're not proud because we win. I think you got like all these Celtics fans. I'm in a Celtics group where and on Facebook where I'm in the group because y'all were talking shit about Knicks fans during the series. So what do our Knicks fans do when what do us New Yorkers do when people talk shit? We pull up. You know what I'm saying? We pull up. So if you're gonna talk about Knicks fans, you just invited Knicks fans to your group, and now they whining. And now they whining because we're there and they lost. But now, guess what? They're all Pacers fans, and of course, they come out. It's like roaches, bro. You know what happens. If you got any bug problems, turn on the light, they go scattering. They
shatter their dreams, though. Yeah.
So look, people got a Boston Pacers with the Celtic green colored logo, bro.
Wow.
That is, bro. Do you understand?
That's taking it a little far. Yeah, that's taking it far.
I mean, do y'all understand? See, the crazy part is what I do when I talk to a Celtics fan. I start quizzing you. When I talk to a Lakers fan, I start quizzing you. Do you know your history? I'm like, if you're going to talk 18, 17 championships, 5 of them was won by a guy named Vern Mickelson. Do you know who Vern Mickelson was? Oh, okay. I'm just saying, that's just me because I'm a guy who researched the history of this league. I could be a Laker fan. I chose to be a Knicks fan. I chose to root for my hometown team. So all of us, we make our choices. The thing about Laker fans, the thing about Celtics fans, most of them is you became it because they were winning, or you came it when you saw them winning. That's great. That's great. You should want to root for a winner. But my thing is, and again, this is the long hard thing about the long hard history of the Knicks fans of Knicks. We became, I know, right? We became Knicks fans, what up, Fish? Yo, Fish, thanks for coming through, man. This is my homie from All Ball TV. Um, but yeah, we
What's
became
going on,
Knicks
man?
fans because we saw them battle. So we might have saw them battle, show some heart. They might have lost, bro. Those Knicks fans from the '70s, they battled the Boston Celtics again. The Knicks were a 51-win team. They beat the 68-win Celtics on our last championship. So, in my opinion, you got maybe a little bit of history repeating themselves, right? Even though Celtics weren't defending champions, 72, the Milwaukee Bucks and Kareem won.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm sorry. 72, the Lakers won. So technically, we did beat the defending champions. 71, that's when Kareem and Oscar won. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, the long, hard history of the Knicks, bro, is we, we love I say this a lot, and I say this to JB. Shout out to JB. Matter of fact, let me make sure I know he's working tonight, but he might be getting off, so he might get some words in. But I say, bro, we are fans that appreciate the journey, not the destination. And a lot of fans, they just appreciate the destination, right? They come on when it's championships. They come like shout out to All Ball TV. They had my classmate on there, the head coach for Norfolk State, Rob Jones. And again, he was talking about what it's like to be a D1 head coach, and especially be a head coach of an HBCU. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a lot of when you get there, when you get that type of perspective, right? Look, Hall of Fame Bob Dandridge, we was just talking about the Bucks. He was the star of Norfolk State, right? So that's a privilege to coach that squad, that with that history and all that. Bro, if you want to talk history of the game, then know history of the game. That's my thing. So the Knicks have a long, hard history, right? And I've always said this as a Knicks fan, bro. Our history is what it is. We had some battles. We've taken some L's. We've taken a lot of L's. Look, at the end of the day, only 10 teams, I believe 10 or 11 NBA franchises have multiple championships. The Knicks are one of them. Only 6 or 7, even your Spurs have only gotten to 7 in their history. They've gotten to 7 finals, right? 7-5. They're 5-2. They only lost. They 5-1. They only got to 6.
5-1. Yeah.
So the Knicks have gotten to 9 finals. Again, we're an original franchise. Y'all came from the ABA. You know what I'm saying? Y'all were one of the ABA franchises. So y'all were I don't know if y'all were the Dallas Chaparrals, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
A lot of cats don't know that.
Yeah.
A lot of cats don't know that. Every Spurs fan know that they started off as the Dallas Chaparrals in the NBA. Just saying, bro. And I just know these things because I just researched the history of NBA and ABA basketball. And but every time I say this, you go low-hanging fruit, Knicks history, Knicks 52 years, 1973 to 09. Bro, that's low-hanging fruit. What does that have to do with that? And I'm going to go here. What does it have to do? Yeah, the Knicks did sign the first black player. I did hear a Celtics fan take credit for that. And it was, I know they signed Cooper. Man. They had signed Cooper, but I think Nat Clifton was the first black player. And again, Red Auerbach, again, he was a pioneer. Red Auerbach had to speak up for his team when Boston was mad that they started too many black players and began to win coincidentally, right? It's amazing. So, when it comes down to the history, bro, like, good, I lived through all of that. The whole Reggie's look. In 93, when the first time we played the Pacers were like, actually it was 93. Yeah, the Pacers were the 8th seed, actually. We played in the first round. That was the upstart of the post Chuck Person, because people don't realize this too. Before 91, 92, the Pacers were Chuck Person's team. It was Chuck Person and Rick Smits, not Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was starting to come on. Yeah. Reggie Miller was starting to come on about 93. And okay, the next thing you had Davis, Antonio and Dale Davis. I think at the time their point guard
And
was
talking about them ugly jerseys too. They had them ugly, bright
uh-huh.
yellow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember those. I remember those.
I hated
Looked like the sun was shining in the eye looking at their jerseys,
it.
right?
Exactly.
And then they had the blue. And again, it was so Knicks beat them in 93. 94, the Knicks were heavy favorites. And, the Knicks lost that series, right? And again, Reggie Miller threw up the choke sign after game 5. But a lot of people don't know. See, this doesn't get publicized. You will watch it on the NBA Knicks and Pacers 30 for 30. And Reggie Miller in that game 6 had a chance to close that series out with free throws, and he bricked them. I think he bricked 2 free throws on 2 different. So just what happened last night, right, with OG Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns, missing 1 free throw on each. I think that's what happened with Reggie. Like, you talking about a Reggie who's a 90, who threw up the choke sign, yet he's a 90-something% foul shooter. I'm just saying. But no one has ever called Reggie Miller a choke artist. I've seen Reggie Miller airball more game-winning threes than he made. No one calls him a choke artist. Everybody remembers the Patrick Ewing funeral finger roll. I remember Patrick Ewing hit many, many game winners. I remember when Patrick Ewing hit the corner 3 against Larry Bird's Celtics. See, that's when I became a boy.
I remember that. Yep. I remember that. Yeah.
Got to the Knicks were down 2-0. Celtics would have obviously the team expected to win that series. Patrick Ewing had Gerald Wilkins and Charles Oakley. He had Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson wasn't a scorer. Mark Jackson was the guy to get everybody involved. But his next best scorers was Gerald Wilkins and pretty much Charles Oakley.
That's my cousin.
Maybe a little bit of Johnny Newman. Okay? I'm just saying. Right? Those same people that get on Jordan for never beating the Bulls. Never beating the Celtics. Well, you want to beat the Celtics? I know they were the older, the Celtics had about 2 more runs in them, right? But he did beat them in 90. I'm just saying. So, yeah, Ewing had a lot of big, and I know that I told you how Lamont trolled me, basically calling Patrick Ewing a bum. And I know he was trying to make a point, but he made a bad one. He was lying to do it. See, again, one thing I promise never to do here. I might miss some facts. I might, I have to go and look some things up. One thing I won't do is lie to you. I won't try to troll anybody by saying something I know not to be true. I know I don't believe. You know what I'm saying? And that was done over there. And again, it goes, look, we all cannot be encyclopedia of knowledge. I tried to do my best. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to Woodage, man. Shout out to Woodage. Ewing and Oakley control the board, Jackson and Wilkins and Newman. That was basically the squad. Kiki a little bit. It was Kiki. I know we didn't get Kiki Vanderwist in 91. You know what I'm saying? In 1991.
Some names I forgot about. Yeah, you bringing up some old school
stuff. We traded Rod Strickland in the 90-91 season. Got Mo Cheeks back. Again, Mo Cheeks is the only Hall of Famer that Patrick Ewing ever played with. I don't believe, and maybe you could correct me on this, I don't believe he played with Bernard King. I know Bernard King played 6 games. They tried to bring Bernard King back. He played 6 games. Ewing's rookie year. I don't think they played together.
Who did?
Bernard King.
With Ewing?
Will Ewing. Yeah, I don't believe they played in the same game.
Because that was during my time. I think I'm a little younger than you. I thought I remember Bernard.
No, see what happened was the Knicks. I think the Knicks held on to Bernard for till 88, and they were hoping he would come back. Remember, he's the pioneer of ACL surgery.
Yeah.
Right? If anybody can get back and play because they tear the ACL like Derrick Rose and anybody else, Bernard King was the first guy that they called it a knee blowout. They didn't call it they say you blew out your knee. He blew out both knees actually, and the idea of him coming back was almost impossible. Like that was a career ender. So he's like the pioneer of the guy that you could reconstruct and rehab and get back on that. I remember, Nikola Jokic. I'm not Nikola Jokic. The first of Nikola Jokic, Arvydas Sabonis. He never got surgery in the pit. If you want to know why I'm telling you this, bro. A lot of people don't know this because he was in Russia, and again, we were in the Cold War. That's another reason why he never came. He didn't come over to the 90s.
He came late 90s, and he came like
yeah, he came when he was done. He
99,
came in 95, I believe, right?
95.
And at
Okay,
that point,
yeah.
he had both. He never got his knees repaired. He just played on those. He tore both ACLs as well. The young Arvydas Sabonis was athletic as think of an athletic Joker. That's young Arvydas
He was the
Sabonis.
precursor. Yeah, them Trailblazers were nice with him.
But see, what I want you to understand, he was still great. He was still great because he could think the game the way he thought it. But when he was young in the 80s, he was 7'4". He's all of 7'4". But he was a fucking monster, bro. Like I've seen the footage of him dominating David Robinson, young David Robinson, but still. And mind you, when he dominated David Robinson, he did that on. He wasn't even supposed to play in those Olympics. He tore his ACL and never got surgery, never got anything done to him to fix it. He wasn't supposed to play. So he was like at 75%. Bro, but we're getting sidetracked because again, this is me being an old head, but this is also me seeing what I saw.
This is good knowledge, though. This is good.
Bro, look, that's what I'm saying, man. Sugar Ray Richardson. Stacey, yeah. Shout out to Fish, man. Fish is from North Carolina. This is another North Carolina guy, man.
Okay. Look, what's up? I'm Greensboro over here.
Yeah, I believe Fish told me he was from Kinston, right? Even where Derek Stackhouse is from. That's East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he's from down east. I'm from down east. But I'm in Greensboro. But yeah, okay, Kinston. That's yeah. We used to play. We used to play Stackhouse, our high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was when I lived in North Carolina, I was down Fayetteville, Elizabethtown way. Oof. And now my mom lives in she lives in Eden. She lives in Eden, which is an hour, about 45 minutes to an hour from Greensboro.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Fayetteville, rough area.
Yeah, man. So Carolina is one of them basketball. A lot of people don't know. They should know because it's Tobacco Road, but see a lot of NBA fans. See, I want you to understand. There's basketball fans and there's NBA fans, and I know the difference, right? Basketball fans know all levels. They know NCAA. They know multiple. And they follow the high school big crowd, the high school AAU crowd, and all that, the recruiting trail, and all of that stuff. I kind of fell off on that regards lately. I still follow it, but not as much as I used to, right? Well, I knew everybody coming up. Because I didn't even get a chance. I didn't even get a look at the Rutgers boys. I didn't get a look at either of them. I did get a look at last year's class, a couple of these guys, but so until I watched the combine, I ain't gonna know nothing about other than Cooper Flag. I ain't gonna know nothing about many of these. I know the kid. I saw the kid play from Maryland, Derek Queen. He looked like he's going to go lottery, but other than that, I didn't get a good look. Yeah. Charles Shackelford and Stackhouse and Brandon Ingram. Yeah. He knows all these cats. Yeah.
Y'all play West Carter at Fish because that's where I went to school.
Okay.
We might not have been in because we were fluctuated between 3A and 4A. So I don't know.
Yeah, my brother played. He played for East Blade, and they played against Whiteville. And Chris Wilcox that went to Maryland. He played against him. My brother was a forward, so imagine my brother's about 6'2". Imagine him guarding 6'10" Wilcox. But they said they did a good job, and they won the 4A championship, I believe.
Wow!
When he
Whiteville.
No, East Bladen. So he was Elizabethtown, East Bladen, but Whiteville was in the conference, right? So I think that was forget how they go to the Waccamaw, something like that conference and shit like that. Yeah, okay.
3A, yeah. We played y'all. Yep.
So y'all play y'all have all the championship games in Chapel Hill still, or they moved it?
I think it's still there because we never even got close. So
yeah,
you asked the wrong person.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we were.
I got you. No, that was really a crowning achievement, man. And shout out to all his classmates. Some of them went E1 and all that. One of them is the head coach. They call it Westblade now. I don't know why. I think because they moved on the other side of the river. Now it's West Blayton. There's no more East Blayton. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's a whole. Yeah, I have been in Elizabethtown for so long. I don't even know where the high school is anymore. But
small world though.
well, yeah, small world, man. Like I said, Carolina is a hotbed of hoops, bro. So again, I became a Knicks fan when I lived in Carolina. And again, it was prideful for me to have a team when Michael Jordan became a star in '91. They stood up to him. That X-Men, because now we up into, we just talked about 90. So we talking about 92 when they got X-Men. And that team Starks became the a player. He was like, who is that? I was like, who is this Starks guy? Remember, this is Patrick Ewing's second because I used to follow it through, because I'm in North Carolina. I can't see that many Knicks games. I used to follow it through the paper. I'm following the Knicks. Knicks are winning. I'm like, okay, cool. We're like the 4th seed. And we caught the Bulls in the second round, 67-win Bulls, and we took them 7. So from then, I was fixed. I'm like, yo, we got to get one more guy, and we're gonna knock the Bulls off next year. That's all. Right. So after that game 7, and then by 92, I moved back to New York. Me and my brother moved back to New York. My brother would later go back down for his high school years to E-Town. I stayed up here in Brooklyn because I'm about 3.5. I'm 4 years older than my brother, basically. So I stayed in New York. I graduated in New York, but he went down to North Carolina to do his high school, and that's where he played for East Blayton. But then so 92, 93. That was the Knicks. That was the year the Knicks were supposed to take it from the Bulls, and then we would probably have our battles then. And of course, the infamous Charles Smith situation.
Yep.
Look, sometimes you got to exercise these demons because it seems like the OBN and OB play last night. and this is the thing, right? OG. Well, Obi Toppin, they made a couple of like rim shattering dunks that put the game winning. He's the guy that we're gonna have to really watch out for. OG and Obi, in that situation, Jalen Brunson got on the ball, and I know your first instinct is to go up and score, right? You're gonna push the lead to 4, right? We at that point it was a 2-point game because Quincy Neesmith had the magnet ball going on.
All right, Casino.
Yes, the magnet ball, bruh. If you looked at the Halliburton, we're gonna skip ahead to the Halliburton shot, bruh. That shit. Look, I want to say this. Anybody that saw college, anybody saw NCAA tournament, look at how tight the rims were, and that means like a good shooter, if with a soft touch, can get a good bounce sometimes at the free throw line, but to sit there and take a double step back, get a bounce that bounces all the way up, almost basically to the top of the shot clock, and then drop in nothing but net. I'm just saying.
I thought there was no way that was going in because just the way physics works, because the way it bounced up, I was like, it's not.
Thank you. Yeah. So sir, I mean, I've seen people online take a chip out of their they use Wilson now. I mean, they don't use Spalding no more. They use Wilson, and they have a magnetic chip in Wilson balls. Okay, so I'm just saying. See, the NBA again. If you're gonna look, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and again, the whole magnet ball theory is like, look, Cito they can control it, right? They say you can turn the magnetic field off or whatever. And man, okay, look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to get into all that. But the fact of the matter is, the Knicks if the Knicks make a free throw, we're not talking about this. If OG Anunoby dribbles out the clock, that's what I was just on. Dribble out. We're up 2, but they're gonna foul you anyway. Or they're gonna foul you, or they're gonna let you run more clock. I get what he was trying to do. So they got matter of fact, no, we were up 5 at that point. Yeah, we were up 2 when he shot the second free throw. Because he shot one, then it was the overturn on the foul call. Then Cat shot 2. So OG missing 1 free throw, Cat missing 1 for Cat. No, Cat shot the first free throw. The second one was, I believe, the foul was overturned. Then they turned the 5-point lead into a 2-point lead. And then the OG Anunoby, and again, that could have kept us up 3. We had the ability, like Tyree Halliburton never gets the shot off. Instead, he gets the shot off, put on the line, KD style. All that stuff happened. All that stuff happened last night, man. But yeah, NBA rims are very soft. And again, let's keep it real. How you tighten the rim, that whether you have a hard rim or a short. So you're not gonna. A lot of times in college, you don't get a lot. You can't tell me that the shooters are not as good. That's the reason. You just don't get a lot of good bounces because I think those rims are much tighter than the rims in the NBA. Just the way it goes, But yeah, man. I mean, with all of that going on, man, it's been a long, hard history. But I want y'all to understand, man. Knicks fans believe because we love the ride, bro. Y'all think we party too much? I had to explain this last night on Cino's Live. Why y'all threw a parade? We didn't throw a parade. Just like every team, we had a watch party. We have watch parties during the playoffs, right? Where they set up a big screen on the side of the arena. But anybody that's been to Manhattan, everybody that's been to Madison Square Garden knows the setup, right? You got one side you got Penn Station underneath. You got one side. I think they used to have a bookstore over there. I don't even know what's over there now. But you got Madison Square Garden in the middle of the block. You have this little space in between. That's where they had the watch party. That's where they'll set up That's where they set up the big screen, and you got damn near hundreds of thousands of people, and that's what it is. Madison Square Garden is not like your typical arena. It's set in like the outskirts of the city. It's set in the heart of the city. So therefore, you don't have a parking lot right around the thing. So what happens is you got like I want to say conservatively, you got 100,000 people at this watch party or pouring in trying to get a spot. It's like fucking Times Square, right? So after the game, when the Knicks won and we did something like beating the Celtics, who nobody gave us a chance to beat, well, yeah, of course, you got people, partying after the game. So there was no parade. A parade, you have floats and shit. You just had Knicks fans hitting the streets because we were there already. So, everybody, you guys threw a parade. No, we have a lot of fans in a small area. Other teams do a watch party. Yeah, they do a watch party. They put a big screen in the parking lot, right? Or they put a big screen. They have multiple, like in Boston Garden, TD Garden. There's a big, I've seen it from the highway. I didn't go up to it, but I've seen it from the highway. I see the setup. If the Knicks had the same setup at Citi Field or Citi Field, not Yankee Stadium, because Yankee Stadium is different. Citi Field has where the Mets play. They have a parking lot around. Okay. And I'm gonna get to that, Fish. Because we halfway agree. We halfway agree on that point. But yeah, if the Knicks had the watch party at Citi Field, it would look a lot different than MSG because you're at the heart of the Garden. In the heart of Manhattan. They call us Broadway. Broadway is technically a block over to the east. 8th Avenue is on one side. So you got Knicks fans surrounding the arena. Then you got Knicks fans, especially when it's a home game or an out of the arena. That's what you have. You got a big ass party full of happy fans. Well, you would have that at every other watch party. It just wouldn't look like that because you have more space at Boston Garden, Denver when they did theirs, Miami when they do theirs. But you also have less fans. There are more Knicks fans coming to these watch parties than they are coming to Boston. So, but of course, it looks like it looks. Oh, you Knicks fans, y'all ain't never been, yeah. Bro. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's been 25 years since we gotten this far. It's been 25 years. And you're right, Chris. Why can't we inbound the ball? I've raised this on this channel many, many times. I told the boys over at All Ball TV, Fabian, and why 5 years in the tip we cannot do a simple inbounds play. Now, they were correct. Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller was talking about this last night on the telecast. A lot of teams now have a problem with the inbound play at the end of games. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I know what they're trying to do. I think they try to get the ball. They want Brunson and then get the rock soon after. We really messed up last night when we ran that play and Brunson, they threw the ball to Brunson on the sideline and then Nembhard got the tip on it. And I'm looking at I still should have been last touch Nembhard, in my opinion. They called it that way. I don't see evidence that Nembhard wasn't. See, I think they do the challenge differently than they do in the NFL because you need overwhelming evidence in the NFL to overturn what the refs call. There, they kind of approximate. And yeah, it did look like it could have been off Brunson, but far as I seen, Nembhard also still had a hand on the ball as it was going through Brunson's fingers. So was it last touch Brunson? I guess they figured it could be because they ended the challenge. And props to Rick Carlisle. Props to Rick Carlisle because I remember one point early in the game, I don't know if it was Neesmith or if it was Halliburton. They wanted him to use the challenge. Now, look, they had two challenges. They gave them the game, gave them the overtime, and they gave them the overturn on Brunson, and that pretty much stilled the game, right? The Knicks still would have a chance to inbound down one, and then they wound up. The Knicks didn't get to stop. Pacers went up 3, and then the Knicks got the 2 shots off. One Brunson, one Cat. Yeah. So again, last night was rough, but again, it's nothing we haven't been through, and I think that's the thing, right? For me, my heart doesn't fear. I think the Knicks have a better team than the Pacers. I called it Knicks in 5. Again, but for every the whole Reggie Miller Spike Lee thing. Again, Reggie Miller, you missed 2 free throws in Game 6. No one ever talks about that. No one ever talks about that. You know what I'm saying? The 4-point play. See that lives well in Knicks fans' eyes, but no one ever talks about the 4-point play. Larry Brown, that pretty much ended that series. Knicks in 6, going to the finals. But no, Knicks fans talk about the 4-point play with Larry Johnson. No one naturally does because the Knicks. It's low-hanging fruit to call the Knicks this loser. Okay, there's one thing you do when you talk to me. I'm gonna fix you on. You call the Knicks a poverty franchise. The Knicks are far from a fucking poverty franchise. If you guys understand the way the basketball works economically, the Knicks are probably one of 11 franchises that turn a profit. 19 franchises they lose money. And the way NBA rules are set up is that every team has an equal right to pay the salary cap. But a team like let's keep it 1-1. New Orleans Pelicans, who beat us to Zion Williamson, they can't pay their bills. They have $100-something whatever $1 million payroll. They do not make that in revenue. And what keeps them afloat is NBA revenue sharing. And when you want to call the Knicks a poverty franchise, the Knicks are one of the main teams that pay in to revenue sharing. So that means the Knicks pay to compete with a team like New Orleans. They can't pay their own bills. They can't make their own payroll. They can't make their own operating costs. Don't call the Knicks a poverty. You can say that the Knicks are a poorly run franchise, but to call the Knicks a poverty franchise if you're a goddamn Pacers fan or OKC, even OKC, The team that is the best team in the league right now, looking like the way they went up 2-0 on Minnesota. They don't pay their own bills. Sorry, the Knicks. Think about this: the Knicks revenue share, so they could afford $31 million to take. Isaiah Hartenstein from us, and we couldn't match because of NBA rules. I'm just saying, we play by the same rules that makes it fair, but yet we Knicks fans, and again, yeah, that's the way they're being set up. It's the business model. I get it, but to call the Knicks a poverty franchise, that's the most ignorant, low-hanging fruit of an argument people can make. Because the Knicks, when they were losing games, were still making money in revenue. And so now that the Knicks are winning, and now that the Knicks are a contender, we're more, and so that's the way the business model works. Because of the revenue coming in, because teams like the Knicks make revenue, and and they that's the main part of NBA revenue is the media rights. We were just talking about that on FYF. That's the main part is media rights. So what NBC and all of them will bid to hold to basically air the games is based on ratings and on numbers and profitability and all of that. All of that gets thrown into the pot. Then you throw everybody's money into the same pot again. But a day-to-day operation, 19 of the 30 teams lose money. 11 teams, but the Knicks are always a team that makes a profit. So don't call my team a property franchise. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. But people will say it anyway, though, right? And then if I explain all of this to them, I'm boring them. With this over here, bro, this is 10 toes down. We speak the truth. We try to educate you a little bit on the game. And again, that's the way it goes. So again, the Knicks, if this was baseball, I always say this: if this was baseball, the Knicks would be stealing everybody's, because we could afford to pay with no salary cap or whatever. We could afford to pay 5 All-Stars $50 million and not blink. You understand what I'm saying? But of course, the Knicks are actually now, and this is the thing. It's a good history. That's why I always tell Knicks fans, bro. The Knicks are even if we lose this year, we're gonna win. We're gonna be the best team in the East next year. On paper, right now, definitely, because the Knicks are fiscally responsible. Shout out to Jalen Brunson for not taking the pay cut, taking the lesser potential extension. Because everybody will say that Jalen Brunson took a pay cut. No, a pay cut. If you make let's say $120,000 and your contract is up, and next year you're gonna make $180 million. $108,000, right? Did you take a pay cut? Of course not. But if you could have waited 2 years and do a contract then, you would have made $250,000 instead of the 180. Well, again, you just extended earlier, like Brunson did, and got lesser potential money in his next contract. So that's what that is. And again, Jalen Brunson doing that put the Knicks to the point where they're going to be able to spend money the years after, the next year, the whole 9. They're going to be able to extend Mikal Bridges a little earlier. So that's what it done. And I argue with Knicks fans about the Melo era. Completely different situation. We can get to the Melo era at some point. I did give Melo some props on this channel. Again, a lot of people get the Melo era and the facts and everything wrong. They tell you what the media wants you to believe. Melo forced his way here, blah, blah, blah. Melo was greedy, da, da, da. Okay, Melo was making $14 million when he came to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is taking a pay cut because next year he'll make $37 million instead of potentially 52. I'm just saying, bro. Just to sit there and say Melo was greedy when he came to the Knicks making $14 million. I understand that the economics is different. Inflation even 12 years ago was a whole different story, bro. Exactly. Nobody takes a pay cut. Not a pay cut. Don't say it's a pay cut because it's not a pay cut. It's a pay. It's like I said, he took a team friendly deal. People do that. because the money is expanding. You know, the money is expanding. Right. What Magic did, he took a pay cut, but mind you, Magic was getting money. Man, they kind of circumvented the cap with the Magic situation, but you know, it was right. Remember, Magic signed a 25-year deal. Nothing has been done ever since, right? There was no limit on deals back then. Now you got the longest deal you can sign is 5 years. You know, so bro, Speed, how you doing, man? Speed, I'm over here educating the haters.
Shout out, Speed.
Shout out, Speed, bro. We were big friend of the program. So you know, guys that say we pay cuts and this and poverty franchise. Okay, yeah, let's get in the game too. Look, this is interactive, man. Game 2, I expect the Knicks to come out and really be mad, really play with a purpose. Now you got to be careful, right? You don't want to come out trying too much to prove. Just execute. I think run the offense through Cat and Brunson again. I think Brunson is going to play like the Terminator in game 2, and I think Cat is going. I think they're mad at these boys, bro. The choke sign again. You did it too early, Mr. Halliburton. You did it too early, and when Reggie did it, like I said, Reggie smoked 2 free throws in game 6. People forget about that. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that until, you know. Yeah, I believe too. The Knicks should blow out the Pacers. I mean, I thought that, you know, technically they did, but see, that goes to show you with a 17. You think Halliburton's gonna put his foot in the neck? I don't think Halliburton's built like that, Spain. I think Halliburton is a front running. I think Halliburton's a front runner. That's what it. Halliburton didn't play well last night until Nesmith. See, that's the difference between Halliburton and Brunson, and I think that kind of helped the Pacers and hurt the Knicks. Halliburton let Nesmith. I think Halliburton hit the first 3 and Nesmith hit the next 5, and it was just, you know, we were just trying to get the clock down. So it was just like, all right, he hit another one. He ain't gonna make another. Oh, he hit another one. Okay, let's get it. We were kind of exchanging buckets, and then we missed 2 shots, and that's when things started getting tight. Remember, the Knicks had an 8-point lead with 36 seconds to go, and Nesmith hit that next 3 to cut it to 5. And that's when you had the comedy of errors where the Knicks broke out of the press. Brunson drives, gets the ball over. We almost turned the ball over. Brunson drove, got the ball to OG Anunoby, who should have realized, dribble out some more. Yeah, you like Halliburton now, Speed. I mean, look, Halliburton's he's a very nice, very talented player. I don't like him as a point guard. I don't like him running offense down the stretch. Again, it's a lot easier when you got a guy like Nesmith making nothing but net threes, right? You know, despite having to guard Jalen Brunson and run out of damn gas, he technically should be running out of gas. But, you know, yeah, look, Halliburton is a competitor.
Yeah, I just want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
The one thing you don't want to give Halliburton is confidence. He seems like he's building as these playoffs go on. So you got to cut the head of the snake. And he seems like he's getting more and more confident. And Knicks don't want that. So I mean, I don't think he's there yet. He's that guy, but he's a guy that you don't want getting any kind of just getting that kind of run.
Yeah, and I noticed playing Halliburton, played him last year again. You know, Halliburton is a guy that could be doing. He's almost like another version of SGA, where you see SGA is very methodical with his game, but you see that sometimes SGA, when he's having a bad game, he uses the foul baiting to keep him in it, right? And then eventually things open up. But Halliburton doesn't really foul bait. No, he's more of a, get that. I can see the biggest play that Halliburton runs is getting that top of the key 3 behind a screen. And his range is basically from 25 to 20 to 30 feet. And he's really good at getting that. And if you stop that, I thought Bridges did a good job for most of the game on Halliburton. I know he had 23 even coming into the 4th. Again, Jalen Brunson. I will say this is what I said on Sino last night. Jalen Brunson, a lot of us agree. They all both said the same thing. I think a lot of people said the same thing. We had the 17-point lead. We should have left Brunson out to the last 3 minutes, especially with him having 5 fouls. Because, you bring in Brunson so he can offensively close it out. But I think then it was what happened. The Knicks offense got very stagnant. They got very one-on-one ballish. This is the problem. You understand what I'm saying?
What happened to Dart? I didn't see that. So.
Oh, Dart. Oh wow, what's going on?
He lost his channel.
Oh man. Wow. I mean, I guess you can. I guess it's why, and eventually I'm going to try to have a backup channel too, man. Like, I mean, I know they do. Yes, because even if you build a following on one,
yeah, they can be.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they can. You got haters, and they'll flag your stuff. Tell you, dang.
Yeah, you was giving me that you was giving me that advice. Look, bro,
you gotta be careful with YouTube.
I know we have some creators in here in the chat, man. And that's the thing, man. Try to get it back. Try to get it back. Just I mean, try to come in, try to keep, again. That's we all got to band together, man. I guess when you don't have a channel, you can still at least show your face, keep your name out there, right? Come up on other people's streams and stuff like that. But Dart is really good, man. Dart is good at what he does.
Yeah, I hate that.
I know you through Dart. I know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's I didn't know that was going on, man. YouTube is on some BS, bro. YouTube is on some BS. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just getting my toes in the water and becoming a new content creator, new podcaster, whatever. This is small and humble. But we go, I think, thanks CW for believing in me and giving me this platform, because I've been dreaming on it for a minute. And for those, for those that love this in this space and love what we do and I love what y'all do, man. Just keep pressing, bro.
Yeah, we gotta help you. We gotta keep each other build up, because
that's it, man. As I said, it's not a competition, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Zay for letting me stay on his live during the second half of the Wolves game, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's love, bro. And I just feel like we all got our lanes, and I'm just a general knowledge basketball guy, and I've seen a lot of basketball. See, again, this is one thing as a Knicks fan. People say, "Oh, you a Knicks fan? What do you know?" I know a lot. I've been watching, just because the Knicks haven't been successful. I've been watching 30-something years of basketball. I'm an NBA fan first. That's why I don't have a Knicks channel. I have an NBA. I have a general basketball, because I can talk any level of basketball. You know what I'm saying? No doubt, Speed. No doubt. We have a village we got to protect, gentlemen. Like, and we know, look, there's some powers that be, and there's some manipulators out there. Again, even the guys that we feel as ops, I do feel that there's, I feel like, hey, you guys are just on one side of an argument. We're on the other side of an argument. But I support y'all as content creators. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to agree with you to want to see your channel go down and shit like that. Like, nah, I'm not. Nah, like,
that's how it should be. I mean, we should all be trying to help each other, because there's money to be made, and there's great things to be done on here if we all just stick together.
Facts. Yeah, what LeBron fan got, bro? I mean, and that's the thing, man. Look, that's it. Part of what I'm talking about today, I've been fighting with Celtics fans. I've been fighting with Celtics fans because a lot of Celtics fans they were talking arrogant as fuck, and it's really arrogant. Like, bro, we not that far away from each other's cities. Y'all know we know basketball. Like, so to sit there and be like, oh, y'all not gonna. Yeah, Speed. Yeah, for real, bro. And all of us could wind up on a platform like ESPN one day, man. You never know, bro. Like, I shout out to Knicks Fan TV. I see him. He goes on WFAN. He goes on Sports SNY, and they actually had him on a couple of lower, like ESPN radio and stuff like that. There's a guy that came out from the tech industry, started up a Knicks fan channel, and is doing well, man, doing big things, bro. And he's natural. He's got a natural voice for it, very knowledgeable, and that's it. That's the thing. My thing is, I'm getting it because I hate liars. I hate they lie to you on television. I'm watching these playoff games, and thank God, because I'll be watching on stream, and I learned this is what happened with today. You let one commercial play on your stream. That's the next thing, right? Don't let commercials play when you're watching a game live, because that's a violation. That's a YouTube violation. And it's like you're using the commercials to I don't even know. Like, you can actually let the content of what we watch a game for the game, but you can't let any commercials play.
Nope. No, they copyright you quick.
Yeah.
They strike you down if you got anything playing in the background.
Yeah, Scap. Shout out to Scap. We might disagree on the Jokic stuff. I can see we disagree on a lot of stuff, but now we agree on Kobe. We agree that LeBron is a bitch. But the Jokic, and the thing is, I love Jokic. I love Joker. But the idea that he has no help is just not. It's just not. It's not. It's the way we looking at the game now, man. If you're the best player in the league and you're second best player in at least top 10, you ain't got help. That's not how the game. Not how the game works. It just so happened, George Scotty. I think the thing about Jordan, right, is Jordan had the best. He was the best player, and Scottie Pippen went from about a top 25 player when he first became an All-Star, and he just got better as his prime went through. So, technically he was borderline top 10 in my opinion. Some people say he's top 5. I think that's too high. There's no way he was better than all of them. There's no way he's better than Shaq.
Scotty?
Yeah, Scotty. They say he was top 5. Like, you were not better than Shaq, Barkley, Malone, Olajuwon. You weren't even better than Ewing. And then again, I talk about Ewing like Ewing was the lower end of the city. No, Ewing was a beast. If Ewing never lost Mark Jackson, Ewing would have had, everybody else had better players feeding him the ball than Ewing did. Because once we had Doc Rivers was a clear, especially as a playmaker, step down. And even Derek Harper, we got Derek Harper, but he wasn't that 8, 9, 10 assist guy. He was more the defensive player, so. Okay. Is that members only Speed?
No, I checked that one out earlier. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna see that. I'm gonna see that as well.
Yeah, I was watching it earlier.
I'm gonna see that as well, but I was trying to watch that. And again, all the other people that's coming to Speed, Speed and AOH. I watch y'all content. We all watch Zay. You know what I'm saying? I even watch the ops. And we all know who the ops are. We all know the ops are.
I try to support them too. We gotta support everybody.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Here's how I support them. I get them clippable content. I get them clippable content. We gonna start clipping y'all asses too.
That's how I saw you, because you were on there cooking them. So
cooking them. That's what I do, bro. So I told you, man. I'm the King Speech is ignorant. I pull up to anybody's stream and talk my shit, bro. Talk my talk. That's what I was doing with the Celtics fan, man. They was talking shit about Knicks fans. No, see, like I said, I support them just by going over there making them look bad. That's it. So they sometimes they think they got me and they clip me up, but
it's a whole different world over there. It
is, bro. It's bizarre world. It's bizarre world. Again, like bro believes that he believes that what was he believing? He was believing that Jordan Jordan gambling got his father killed, potentially, but he does not believe that they can fix an NBA lottery. And in ChatGPT, which is his new tool for side of any debate, told him, yeah, it's more likely that they fixed this lottery than it was that the Dallas Mavericks just won it by lottery balls, bro. It's more likely that they fixed it. And he's like, okay.
Exactly.
But anyway, Yeah, I'm bouncing all over the place, man. But yo, the Knicks situation. Again, I'm very confident. I know that they got. See, one thing about I said by Indiana at the start of the playoffs is that they have a puncher's chance because their offense is so potent. What the Knicks proved, even in the defeat last night, is that the Knicks offensively can bounce with the Pacers. The Knicks put up 135, right? Barkley, you got on camera, and this is the problem too. I like you, Barkley, because you at least speak from the heart. But sometimes you say stupid shit. The Knicks scored 150 in a game this year, sir. The Knicks scored 143 twice in a week. So no, 135 is not the Knicks high for a game, and not especially for an overtime game. The Knicks have lit it up. See, one thing I like about the Knicks is they showed you we can both play in a muck it up, physical clutch and grab game, and we can play in a wide open, slugfest like last night was. Last night was slug. Remember when we got off street, I was telling you the Knicks were up 44-41, and that was almost the score of the OKC. It was like 9 minutes. It was like 9:33 to go in the second quarter, but that was the halftime score of OKC Minnesota. So the Knicks can play different. They can play different paces, different style. We like to play the slow pace. Oh man, LeBron fans, bro. See what I'm looking at. I really want to get this channel, and I know Speed. I was talking about it. I really want to get some fanboys on here. They want to debate. Now we got one who ain't this. We had Travis who came on from Go Chase Kingdom, and yeah. I let it go. And I go on there to debate. I want to go. I've got my debate rematch with him next on Sunday. I love the debate. So I want fanboys. I will try to get the one boy, one of their members, over here, because me and him going back on Facebook now. I remember when I was in there cooking a Johnny in the chat. I was cooking a Johnny in the chat, and one boy who is I believe Go James Kingdom makes him a moderator. He put me in timeout.
Who was it?
The one boy. The one boy Welters is his name.
Yeah.
But he's the one boy on he's one of their members. Okay. They simulcast. All I had to do was go in Lamont stream FYF, and I could. So now props to Lamont. Lamont made me a moderator in his chat. So now I got the wrench. I got the wrench for FYF, and you got the wrench at Go James Kingdom. But now, he tried to throw the choke side at me in a debate. You understand what I'm saying? Like, bro, you're very emotional, and you guys, every time we say anything about LeBron that based on fact, y'all want to call us a hater. Meanwhile, you sit on that channel that hates on a man who hasn't played basketball in 23 years. What are we talking here?
Facts. That's facts.
Like, do you not see?
Spain, we're gonna have to have you on at some point.
Man, anytime, bro. And like I said, I would actually. Are you interested in being a judge in the debate, Spain? Yeah, me and Travis from Go Jay's Kingdom. We were here. It never got personal. We just talked.
Yeah,
so I got a lot of respect for Trav.
Yeah.
We was here for like 2 hours debating Kobe versus LeBron. We were trying to do a little mini scat versus Gilbert part 2, but
y'all kept. I mean, Travis, he's pretty cool. He keeps it cordial. He keeps it moving.
He talks all facts.
Yeah.
He misspeaks on a couple of facts, but me and Jermaine had to set him straight about that. Larry Bird had Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish in his championship year, which he didn't. He didn't get him to the year after that. But let's see. But yeah, man, the Knicks in Minnesota. I mean, the Knicks. Actually, that's what I wish the finals would be. And Knicks got to hold up their end of the bar. It look like Minnesota's on the ropes. When Minnesota goes home, if they can get to it home, they're gonna have a series, but they're gonna have to figure out. They're gonna have to figure out their execution, as I was saying. Like, they're a point guard away from being a legit contender. They're a good team. They're better than a lot of people gave them credit for. I said all year, remember this 10 toes down from October on. I said Minnesota's going to be fine, and here they are in the Western Conference Finals. But one of the issues is one of their weaknesses. They do not make good decisions offensively. They have a good defense, but they don't make good decisions offensively.
To answer your question, Steam, they definitely
want the Knicks would be the most profitable.
Yeah, they want the Knicks.
It probably be Knicks OKC at this point because I believe OKC and Minnesota are like similar in terms. I think Minnesota might be a little bit of a market, but OKC really gets that whole Midwest vibe. Like the Midwest really f's with OKC. So, and they're curious about the team. They're curious about SGA. All the controversy about and again, Cap, everybody else. SGA didn't steal the MVP. SGA earned the MVP. Based on why the NBA MVP is judged every single year, SGA was MVP in a landslide. So, but I think Knicks definitely. I mean, the Pacers could still sell a finals. Pacers OKC probably be the least favorable one.
Yeah, I think they don't want the Pacers and OKC because I don't think that would just to the eye wouldn't be a good finals. I think that would just be, that'd be the worst that they can get right now.
That's true. I see the image, the Ant-Man image. But even that Ant-Man being a little bit of a bad boy, being a guy that speaks, he's more of a what do you call it? Let his mouth go at the podium type of player. They'll give you some sound bites and stuff, but it's gonna be hard to push that team. He got like Rudy. Rudy is like they're not using Rudy the way they need to. I get that part. But it's almost like what he reminds me a little bit of, and like Iverson when it comes to media. He's kind of a bad boy. He's kind of a guy that says what's on his mind. You know what I'm saying? He's that Atlanta type thug. While Allen Iverson was that DMV type thug. Allen Iverson from the DMV. But Randall's a good second piece, and you got Rudy. I don't know how much of the Frenchmen rock with Rudy, but yeah. Well, yeah, I think Ant-Man versus I think Knicks and Wolves are the optimal one they want because we made the blockbuster trade. You can sell that. You can sell.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the perfect storyline narrative. Yeah.
Yeah, Rudy is hated. Rudy is hated around the league. But I want to know how they rock with Rudy. And you talk about a guy that made 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. So France got to be proud of that, right? I think France is proud of that. He's got them a couple silver medals, right? But yeah, with that trade and things like that, Cat and Brunson, I think Brunson is the best player still left in the league. The most marketable would be Ant-Man, and the most efficient is SGA. SGA is one of them. He's another one of them dudes. Like I mean, sometimes we look at him and like, is that Andrew Wiggins? He looks a lot like Andrew Wiggins. He does. Only he got the braids, right? And Andrew Wiggins got more. I think Andrew Wiggins got the soul fro right now.
Yeah.
But I'm like all these guys' cousins because I know they're all they're all Afro Canadian Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? So they all kind of come from that same little lineage, and him and his cousin Alexander Walker, and then Wiggins, and then RJ Barrett's another one. His father, Rowan Barrett, played with Felipe Lopez at St. John's. Oh man, we're going all over the place, man. But yeah, right now, again, what do you think? What do you think about the playoffs? Like, if you rate it scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
So far,
overall.
I'm gonna give it a. I think it's been pretty good. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think, like just the excitement, just the wow factor, just like last night and a couple of other games. Like you have to watch it from start to finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
To
everybody
get
wanted to turn the game off. I was like,
you can't turn
see,
outside
that
of a
was the
few
thing
games. You
too.
can't turn this off. Yeah,
Number
so
one, I
it's
wanted to
good.
celebrate, and I was, let me tell you again. Let's get back. The long hard history of a Knicks fan, as a Knicks. In life as a Knicks fan, bro, I knew good and well not to turn that thing, but I was actually like, man, we're now 7 wins away. We're 7 wins away from the championship. My God. And they went back to 8, just like that.
But that's the fun. That's the unpredictability of. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see teams just obliterating each other. You want to see where it's a challenge. So I still think the Knicks are going to win this series, and I think that's what the league needs. So I think it's going to find a way. But it was an exciting
Take me to 97. Right, this is a good joke by Speed. Take me to 97 when I first saw Eddie. Shout out to the late Malik Sealy who played Stacey Patton. Right, I did not know that we would get a coach like an owner like Wild Bill and James Dolan. Now, see the James Dolan saga, because James Dolan has come around now. James Dolan is now, I would say James Dolan is a pretty good owner. You know why James Dolan is a pretty good owner? One, he writes the check, and boy, will James Dolan write a check. But now he's learned to write the check and get the hell out of the way and let the basketball people do their work. So James Dolan, we all know that James Dolan knows nothing about basketball. I got to finish watching that Roommates podcast where they interviewed him. They actually interviewed him right before Jalen Brunson got hurt in the Lakers game, but I still never finished that interview. So I want to get, James Dolan now kind of gets it. He doesn't fight with the media no more. He lets the basketball people do their job, and he writes the check. And he doesn't just. The problem is James Dolan writes the check, but he writes the check to anybody like Eddie Curry or Jerome James for fucking $36 million, right? He was too liberal on the pen. Like, Isaiah, you like Jerome James? Okay, well, I'll write the check. That's what he'll do. But, no, I didn't think at the time I saw Eddie, I did not think the Knicks could go on a 20-year, and again, we had a couple of nice years in there, the Melo years, the one Marbury year. It looked promising, bro. But the problem is that, again, the Knicks could not get to the new way of doing things. Now, shout out to Leon Rose. But again, for those guys that just say the Knicks off-property franchise will never get it right, Leon Rose actually does get things. And this is, unfortunately, the crazy part about it is, now Leon Rose, I likened him to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I liken Rich Paul to Darth Vader. Because as we all know, that Leon Rose was LeBron's first agent, right? And the guy that trained his boy, Rich Paul, on what it is to become an agent. And now Rich Paul went to the dark side of the force. And now Rich Paul went to the dark side of the force and it created the Clutch Empire, which is wreaking havoc on the NBA. But Leon Rose and the Knicks don't have any clutch players. And Rich Paul will not let any of his clients come to the Knicks. And nor will Rich Paul let any of his well, actually, I did see what's this guy? Nick Wright and Broussard, who we know are clutch agents. They're at least doing their job and saying good things about the Knicks, and but but they're still the dark side of the force, bro. Rich Paul is great eagle. The fact that he comes on Pat McAfee and just is talking a bunch of blabbering bullshit to a sports host who don't know anything about basketball. Pat McAfee was a punter. He knows two shits about basketball. He knows a lot about football, and he knows a lot about wrestling. He might know a little bit about baseball, but he knows nothing about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And he sits there and let Rich Paul. And every time I watch watching them interviews, I just cringe. But anyway. Oh boy. So, but yeah, Leon Rose is getting it together. The Knicks are fiscally responsible. Again, you might think that OG Anunoby at $40 million a year was OG Anunoby has been the best defensive player in this playoffs, and that's what you pay for that. That's the going market for an OG Anunoby. $40 million a year, you sign that. Because guess what? It's better than paying Paul George $50 million a year. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Shout out to those that thought that the Sixers were going to, even if healthy, the Sixers were going to be good this year. And of course, they were counting lottery balls. So, again, one beef I have as a Knicks fan is the Knicks are not allowed to struggle when it's time to struggle. And then when the Knicks actually do turn it around, and I put some things on, I know Kevin Durant had a Twitter beef because we know he's good with that. But the guy came and said, well, the Knicks dodged a bullet not signing KD and Kyrie. And I remember the moment that they signed, I said, you know what? I wanted KD. I didn't want Kyrie to come with him. And then actually I wanted KD because it would have, turned things around. But by the time things changed when he chose Achilles. So remember, everybody knew he was leaving the Golden State Warriors. They thought he was coming to the Knicks. Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. No doubt, Spain. But they knew he was coming to the Knicks. And or they swore he was coming to the Knicks. And then once he got up with Kyrie was like, no, we don't want to go to the Knicks. Too much pressure there. Let's go to Brooklyn. So I said, all right, cool. Okay, I went to Brooklyn, and it wasn't even 6:00, right? Free agency is supposed to be July 1st or June 30th, actually, at 6:00. That just so happened to fall on a Sunday. And it wasn't even 6:00, and it was already announced that they were going to Brooklyn. So again, the Knicks had pivoted. They went to Julius Randle. And I said that day, the Knicks, it's not going to be next year. It's not going to be the year after that. But in 3 years, the Knicks are going to be better than the Nets. Okay? It took 4.
Didn't
take long. But all the Nets did was get to 1 second round. All the Nets did get to the 1 second round, and the Knicks are here with that. So when that was told, Kevin Durant, of course, had to defend himself. But I was telling the guy, I posted, bro, I said this the same day. I said the Knicks dodged the bullet because that, especially I knew this. Once they hired Steve Nash as his coach, I knew that wasn't going to work. I knew, they would have, if they did win a championship or get to a finals, they would have did that in spite of Steve Nash. And yeah, no, I just knew the Knicks were built better for the long run. And the moves that we made, the Julius Randle move we made, we got him for 3 years at $63 million. 3 years, $63 million. That's the same day that Tobias Harris signed for 5 years and $180 million. I think it was 5 years, $180 million is what Tobias Harris, $36 million a year. They're saying that we got Julius Randle for 1/3 of the price. Okay, we turned Julius Randle into a 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. For those that were critical of Randle's game and all that, I mean, I'm like, he's better than goddamn, right? And then, of course, we know that Butler went to Miami. That worked out for them up to the time being. They got 2 finals. But I knew the Knicks would be. Yeah. Let's talk about
if Speeman's in here, I just want to ask him something real quick.
No problem.
Do you think the sports media will treat Brunson better if he wins a championship than they do Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? Do you think Brunson will get more favorable coverage than Tatum and Brown do if he wins a championship, which is very likely?
All right, see if we can. I'm gonna actually drop the link if anybody wants to come in, man. Because that's let me see. I'm trying to. Oh, damn it. Almost dropped it.
Let me drop it in. I'll drop it in there real quick.
Okay, yeah, you got it. I should have had it already.
Let's see. Yeah, if anybody wants to come on.
You know what, Malone? If the Knicks the Knicks will fire Thibodeau if his stubbornness causes us any. I'm calling that right now. The Knicks will fire Thibodeau if his stubbornness leads us to lose a series. And I would want Malone. I would definitely want Malone. Now, I would want to do the whole, like look and see who was the best fit. But I believe Thibodeau has done his job. I don't want to fire Thibodeau because I hate Thibodeau. But I believe if Thibodeau in his coaching style might have limited us. Now look, we beat the Celtics. If we beat the Celtics, we should be able to beat them. The question is, will we? Will we beat this Indiana team? And if we beat Indiana, will we beat probably OKC or possibly Minnesota? I think we could beat any of the last three teams left. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I would like Malone because I think Malone's a little bit more offensively innovative. I like the way he handles the locker room. I think he would be a good defense coach. But all of these guys are like Knicks. Remember, Brendan Malone was in the Knicks defensive coach, and Brendan Malone was Mike Malone's father. So the roots are already there. It's all Knicks family, you know. So again, for those who think we're a property franchise, all right, I know we've had the number one basketball announcer basically since the 50s. It started with Marty Glickman. Marty Glickman pretty much tutored Marv Albert. Marv Albert became the number one guy. And now Mike Breen came up under Marv Albert as the radio guy, and now Mike Breen. So the Knicks have always had the number one announcer in the sport. All right, just the announcer. I mean, like, we have the most famous building. You know, Madison Square Garden, everybody just comes in here and beats y'all asses, blah, blah, blah. What's so special about Madison Square Garden? Madison Square Garden is the only NBA arena that hosted an Ali fight. You know, Ali fought in that building, right? I'm just saying. You know, the Smoothie King Arena, the Little Caesars Arena, what do they call it? The Crypto Arena, Staples Center, whatever. You guys are all corporate. You pip your name TD. That's not the garden that Larry Bird played in. That's TD Garden. Okay? I'm just saying. Even the Bulls Arena is new, right? They're the United Center still, but they played in the old Chicago Stadium, and then they moved to the United Center. So Jordan did play in, I think, the United Center that the Bulls play in now. But again, Ali fought in the Garden. That Garden, that building. I'm just saying. You know, if your arena never hosted an Ali fight, let the fuck I'm talking about how special the Madison. I mean, the Ray Allen versus Iverson duels in college, UConn versus Georgetown. I mean, a 4 overtime game between Syracuse and UConn. I was in UConn that year. I mean, that arena is hosting some of the best goddamn sporting events, period, including NBA games, including finals. That's the same finals where Willis Reed came out of the tunnel. I'm just saying. Yeah, Jordan. Everywhere. Notice how I've seen how many superstars they'll be sitting there nursing an injury for a couple of weeks. Oh, I'm not gonna miss my chance to play in MSG. I only get 1 or 2 chances a year. They're gonna magically get healthy to play in MSG. Of course, you want to show out there. The first WrestleMania, yes. Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik. Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper. Jesus. So please, low-hanging fruit to talk shit about MSG. It is a special building. Trust me, every time I go in there, I feel privileged. I don't care. I've been in there for circuses. I've been in there for a lot of things. Was I in there for graduation? No. I've been in the theater for a comedy show. Yeah, man. But yeah. So again, I'm doing a lot of defending the Knicks and talking Knicks history and just giving you the idea of what it's like to be a Knicks fan. Again, it's been, bro. I get pumping rooting for the Knicks, man. I care about, and that's the thing, right? I have other teams. I like. I'm a Duke fan. Duke Blue Devils, CW.
Man, I don't hold it against you. I won't hold it against you.
And I've won championships with those other franchises, right? But the team I care about the most in all sports is the New York Knicks, and they've yet to give me again. I want you to understand this too. It's hard if you don't have the superstar. It's hard to win in the NBA. It really is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
First of all, I think only little over half of the teams that are NBA teams that have won championships. Two of the teams that still left have never won. That the franchise has never. Minnesota and the Pacers have never won an NBA championship.
Ooh.
The Pacers won an ABA championship. Minnesota, in fairness, have only existed since 1987. But that's still, you're talking what, 38 years now, 40 years?
The Hornets will never win.
Hornets probably will never win.
We'll never
win. Especially this version, which is the Bobcats. Right? The one that drafted Sean May with their first ever pick, right?
Come on now.
But you know what? You can never say never. You can never say never. The way it's looking now, we might not see it, or we might not see it till we're collecting Social Security.
Exactly.
Right? But you never know. And that's the thing. Like that right now, we're in an era of NBA parity. I've said this. I remember saying this on a couple of streams. I think I probably said this on y'all Sunday Live when y'all let me call up Speed. I said we're not going to see a repeat champion for a decade. And everybody, y'all all said Boston. No. Boston's going to win. Boston's going to win. Boston. I remember that. See, one thing about me, I have the memory of an elephant. So I remember, I can remember, some random call that I called in. But I remember saying this to Speem and them, that we're not going to have a repeat champion for a while. And there's a couple of reasons for that. We can get into that. I think I got into that, but we can get into that later. It's hard to keep teams. This first apron, second apron thing, and the money, bro. People okay, I want you to know, Boston, Derek White gets $30 million. Drew Holiday gets $30 million. Now, they're pretty good players. About 5 years ago, that was unheard of, paying them two guys $30 million. That's the going rate for role players now. The going rate for role players, you're starting at $30 million. Starting there. And then once you pay a couple of role players $30 million, you're at that apron really quickly.
Yep.
So it's really hard to keep these teams together. This is the age.
Drew looks like the odd man out. So yeah, you lose.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They can't just cut him. He got 3 more years on his deal.
Yep.
You're gonna have to trade him to a team that's gonna absorb his contract.
Yep.
How many teams can do that and give you something for it, or they'll probably take whatever. They probably take a draft pick, but they got to take a team that's under the cap. Remember, OKC used to be that team. Detroit used to be that team. No, they're not. Maybe Portland. Remember, Portland paid Anthony Simons $36 million a year.
Ooh. Brunson wins. Is he the Isaiah Thomas of this decade? Good question.
Yeah, I'll say this. He's a little man because they said it couldn't be done. Yeah. A little man who's the number one guy to win a championship. Now, Isaiah had a really deep team.
Yep.
He had a team where he could score 22. He was their main closer. But they had a bunch of guys, especially when they got Mark Aguirre, they had Adrian Dantley in there. Especially when they got Mark Aguirre, they could get 15 to 20 points from about 5 or 6 guys, and then they were built on their defense. And then they did like Jermaine was talking about, JB was talking about, the first year the Lakers had them, but you knew that the next year if Detroit got back, they were going to beat the Lakers, and they did. They beat them handily and sweet. So, yeah, I would say this because they said it couldn't be done, right? They said, shout out to Becky Hammond. He's too little. Okay. He's too little. Meanwhile, he's leading the NBA in scoring again in the playoffs. Like, I know technically Giannis does, but Giannis got knocked out of 5 games. It's like, how do you compare a guy that's already played? What, Brunson have played his 13th game already? So got to play 5, and Brunson is guaranteed to play at least 16 to 17 games. So he, out of guys that actually got to 2 rounds or more, Brunson is the leading scorer in the playoffs. You know, Brunson is a tank. Brunson is a tank. Yeah, I think, yeah. He gave up $3 million to help the Lakers, and it went to his son. You know, oh boy, yeah, yeah. I like to say this. I'm not a LeBron hate channel. I will give LeBron credit when he deserves it, right? But yeah, to make no mistake, I don't like LeBron, and I will call LeBron out on his bullshit every chance I get on this channel. You know what I'm saying? I give him credit. I call him a top 8 player, and that's what we had a debate on. How dare you only have him 8?
Man, we still gotta do you in sports talk. I gotta see what's going on with sports talk. But
yeah, I saw sports talk getting on the March Live the other day, and I was yeah, he was in a Johnny's live, and again, Johnny was cooking. Yes, I ain't gonna lie, Johnny will say something right every now and then. Now, of course, his premise is all fucked up because he's trying to, he's trying to call the 2011 Heat an underachieve. No. They didn't underachieve. They overachieved. Like the Heat getting to the finals and losing to Dirk Nowitzki and a bunch of 38-year-old guards, 30-something guards was an overachievement. Considering that, LeBron said not 1, not 2, not 3. We all know.
Yeah, I mean they count championships, but they overachieved by getting to the finals. Yeah, that's.
Oh yes, LeBron is father of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, goddamn, who else would win? Who else would break the all-time record in NBA scoring and allow his sons to wear Jordans when he does that? I'm just saying, bro. Oh man, y'all had to love it. Oh, y'all had to love it, bro. See, this is why I pull up to the ops speed, because boy was I cooking and Johnny when I told him LeBron's sons would wear Jordans, and everybody, he said 2007 cats, they don't like that old 90s shit. They said you asked cats that was born in 2007. Wu-Tang said protect your what? Nobody knew, right? But I said, okay, yeah, they didn't know what Wu-Tang wanted to protect. But they sure wear Jordans when they answer that question.
Yeah, they in the 1900s, they in the 1900s.
Man, I gotta get rid of this cough. But yeah, the 1900s, and but it's funny that every time he puts me on mute and he does a cutaway, it's all 90s movies, but we're all done with the 90s, yeah, except your movie references.
I should have clipped that. Yeah, every time you say that, I should bring that up on a video, because
we got to get the cutaways and all that, because he is funny. He plays the studio audience laughs. It's some of the most. It's nothing that's funny. He'll play the studio audience laugh, but Johnny's and he's got a good sense of humor. I ain't gonna lie. See, again, he's a nice guy. They just got the wrong perspective. Like, I just, like I said, I always go up there. I just go up there to talk basketball, and I just gotta cook them when they start lying. Again, this man told me that Sam Cassell could get his own shot off the dribble. The fuck? Bro, Sam Cassell couldn't get his own shot? Really? This is the guy that told me Akeem Olajuwon was overrated. Alonzo Mourning was a bum. What else did they say over there? Oh, yeah, Mr. Lamont. If the Lakers had signed P.J. Tucker, that would have been the key to all their defensive issues.
Man, come on now. Don't even bring that one up. That's insane. That's insanity.
So the same PJ Tucker was my 12th man, right? My 14th man, or whatever he is. Yeah, but LeBron is a great father. He really is. His kid steroids. Oh, but let me stop that. We gotta watch what we say over here, right?
You don't want them the crew to come over here and start. Yeah.
Oh man, bro. But see, again, it's like they won't tell you how good Nick Van Exel was. I did get a Johnny to admit that Kevin Johnson was an elite playmaker.
Okay.
You know, once I gave him Jason Terry, once I gave him Jason Terry as an elite playmaker, he could not deny that Kevin Johnson was an elite playmaker. But,
yeah, Kevin Johnson was nice. I don't know why people kind of sleep on him.
Bro, Kevin Johnson was so freaking good, man. Y'all don't know. Bro, look at Game 7. Look at Game 7 in the 94 East Western Conference Finals. I mean, what's the name won? No, it's in 95. 95 is when he flushed on the team, too. But 95, Kevin Johnson not only had like 47 points, but, bro, he had the entire Rockets backcourt in foul trouble. Like, 3 of them, I think 2 of them fouled out, and 3 of them have, like, Ellie had 5 fouls. Max, not Max, because they had, I believe they had Drexler. Kenny Smith had 5 fouls. Sam Cassell fouled out.
Terrell Brandon, that's the name.
Sam Cassell, another one will tell you just how bad KJ was, bro. Man, but you know, according again, and I had to. Sunday I had to shout out to Rod Strickland. Why y'all? It was a King John. Why you shouting out, bro? You all over the place. No, we were talking about the 90s. Y'all want to talk about Jordan all the time. According to y'all, Jordan had no competition. I told him, no.
Yeah, I did a video on Rod Strickland and how he used to cook Jordan.
Rod Strickland used to cook everybody, bro.
Yeah, Jordan couldn't stay in front of him.
Rod Strickland, see, that's another thing. Okay, because this is the Knicks show. Rod Strickland for fucking Mo Cheeks, and again, Mo Cheeks he's still our assistant coach. He's been a friend to the bro. We traded for the old version of Mo Cheeks, and we traded a young Rod Strickland because we didn't have the foresight to realize that we could play both Mark Jackson and Rod Strickland. Again, why did the Knicks realize? Because we wound up making John Starks our shooting guard, and I'm happy with Starks. I think we could have still worked Starks in the mix as a 6-man. But you know how bad the Knicks would have. You know how great the Knicks would have been if we had Mark Jackson and Rod Strickland giving the ball to Patrick Ewing. But Strick was a beast, bro. Strick was a beast. When Wu-Tang said guarantee made him jump like Rod Strickland just used to take niggas out of these shoes, bro. Man, bro. So that goes to this era. Yeah, we traded Strickland. We traded 1 year. We traded Strickland for Cheeks, and in the year after that, after the season, we traded Jackson for Doc Rivers and Bo Kemble. Yeah. Yeah, Jackson was a beast too, man. Again, the Knicks had both of their New York boys on the team. Oh boy, this is the problem with the Knicks. We trade the wrong players away at the wrong time. We don't put it all together. Finally, I think the Knicks have put a team together that can win. You know, and again, this is where we are. We got Cat, and again, Cat. I don't have no beef with Cat yesterday other than missing that free throw. And he gave the perfect answer to the podium. You know, they wanted to bait him into this whole Reggie Miller shit, right? I said, bro, I don't care about history. We're here to make history. Like, I really think it's unfair for these young players to have to deal with the ghost of Patrick Ewing missed layup, right? But it is what it is. Again, we got some great moments in New York Knicks history, man. I would say that I one chance because we actually 96, 97, I thought that team was going to beat the Bulls. 93, 94, I think we could have beat the Bulls one year. Even Jordan said it. Jordan was waiting for the Knicks to knock off the Bulls. They would have extra motivated him. He might not have retired after 98. You know, we never know though, man. Same thing with Neek, bro. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Nika's another one, man, bro. Like I said, when they think we're being nostalgic, no, we just understood what we watched, man. They think we're being, and again, look, it was bad basketball back then, but there's a lot of bad basketball now. But there's great basketball players out now. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Like, I don't shit on all the people, man. Allen Houston with bro. We swept the Atlanta Hawks in the second round. Even though you got hurt, we swept that team. They were the 1 seed. No, they were the 4 seed actually. The 1 seed was the Heat. We knocked them off in the first round. Allen Houston the drop through. The step through. He stepped through and got the bounce. Allen Houston, boy. Again, we never. It's like that episode. It's like that part of Friday when Smokey told Craig, y'all ain't never got 2 things in Mac: cereal, no milk, peanut butter, no jelly, ham, no burger. We don't never put. We got 1 ingredient. We don't put the second. We don't put the peanut butter with the jelly, man. And I think right now at this point, I think in Brunson are 2 guys that can get it through with that supporting cast. Again, OG Anunoby is the best defender you don't know. If you don't know how good that is, OG Anunoby, you got to realize who the guy that put Tatum on smash the first 3 games of that series. You got to realize who's the guy that put Kate Cunningham on smash for 6 games. Kate Cunningham had a subpar first round. Everybody thought he was going to be the best player. It was OG Anunoby guarding that guy 1-on-1. Even last night, OG was on Siakam. Siakam didn't come to the end. OG had 3 blocks and 3 steals, man. Oh yeah, Kurt Thomas. Real good.
I mean, kids nowadays. I got a 15-year-old. They don't watch the NBA. They watch highlights. They watch what they want to watch, but they don't watch like we did. We had to.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: have you taught your son to box out?
Oh yeah, he's got to. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's the thing, right?
It's a lost art, though.
Mind you, even as great as the rebound as Mitchell Robinson was, and shout out to the the Pacers and the telecast was saying Mitchell Robinson was wreaking havoc on that game. Even Halliburton was like, "God damn it, man! Mitchell Robinson's grabbing everything out there." Yeah, look at the box score: 2 points, 8 rebounds. The impact was crazy. Mitchell Robinson is a beast out there, but there was one play where he let Obi Toppin get the offensive rebound because he didn't box out. Again, the box out. This is what we hate.
He has to because he's a rebounder, so you can't.
He's not like 6'8", right?
What do you say?
Well, he's not like 6'8". That's what I'm saying. You equalize. The box out is an equalizer. And if you don't box out, a high jumper like Obi can get an offensive rebound over you, even when you're taller. That's it. You gotta take it away, and this is why. No, Mitch Robinson is a great offensive rebounder, and part of the reason nobody boxes out.
It's an AAU too because that's why I have to tell him because his team constantly gets beat. The other team will shoot free throws and nobody boxes out, and they'll get the rebound, and it's common. Like I see it all the time in AAU gyms. Like these kids don't know to box out. It's crazy. That's one of the fundamentals.
Yeah, especially when you have an undersized team. If you want to get the ball back, you better box out.
Because guys are quick. These kids are quick. That's
what it is. They get the rebound. They get the rebounding is such an underrated part of the game. It's really the second most important part of the game, in my opinion. Because again, rebound. Matter of fact, it might be more, in my opinion, is more important than possession. I mean, the scoring. Because rebounding gets you possession. It finishes off defensive play. You can play perfect defense, but if you can't get a rebound,
if you don't rebound,
they're gonna keep getting second chances on you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so again, I had to argue with a guy that said that Melo, when he got 62 points and got the Garden record, he had no other stats. A lie. He had 15 rebounds. Now you get mad because the guy scored 62 points in 3 quarters and didn't have an assist. Well, again, an assist applies when you do pass the ball, the guy makes a shot. But Melo had 15 rebounds in that Hornets game, guys. And he took the scoring record back from Kobe, which is important, right? He took the Garden scoring record back from Kobe. Just saying. Yeah, man. It's been that big, and that was in a losing season, right? Again, I screamed in the 13th draft we should have drafted Rudy Gobert. We had Tyson Chandler, right? But Tyson Chandler was always one play away from injury. In the 6th game of the season, he broke his leg. and we had to go to Andre Bargnani as the backup center, because he was meant to be the power forward. But then he had to go to center, and that was the end of that season. And you know damn well you ain't get no defense or rebounding from Andre Bargnani.
No, I forgot about him being a Knick. Yeah, that was a rough time.
Yeah, we made that trade. Well, we only traded Novak and a first round pick. The first round pick turned into Jakob Poeltl. It was a
I mean, I remember the Spurs. We had Novak. He was solid for us. He was.
Oh yeah. Novak. Discount double check. Shout out to discount double check. Even Novak. Three was pure. Three was pure. Yeah. I'll tell you, man. Whatever happens, I'm with that guy, Maniscalco or whatever his name is, the one that lit us up for 31 points. He's a free agent. I want to sign that kid because he's from Manhattan. That's the thing about New York, man.
Doing, you probably will get him because everybody. I think after this season, New York, the Knicks will be a hot destination for a lot of players now. So
yeah. So again, the Maniscalco kid. Now, was he an undrafted free agent out of Seton Hall? Like he lights us up for 31 and puts us on a losing streak.
Who was he playing with, or who was he playing for?
Oh, for the Spurs, for your Spurs.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That was that game we were supposed to kill y'all because y'all had no.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I can't. We need to get him and keep him. But
I don't want to see campaign next year. Don't want to see game. We need to improve the backup again. Look. I'm standing on business. The Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. Knicks in 5. I can see we got to get. So if we don't get 5, it's because we don't get 2 in the field house. We're getting game 2. We need to get game 3. I would live with losing game 3 and winning game 4, but I think we're gonna win both. We got to get 2 in the field house, pretty much. So that means if we split. We wind up getting a split here, and we get the split in Indiana. Then we're gonna have to win Game 6. I don't trust the team going to Game 7 with the way they look after yesterday. I do not want another Game 7. The Knicks got to win this in 6 at most, but I think we're gonna win it in 5. So, well, yeah, man, wrap it up because look, we come from era to era. We traded Walt Clyde Frazier. Willis Reed pretty much had to retire soon after the second championship. Clyde Frazier, we traded him to Cleveland. We got Bernard King in here. He tore his knee up. We got Ewing in the lottery, the frozen envelope. Ewing never got a second guy. We knocked on the door a couple of times. Just never got over the hump. 2000, Ewing after the Achilles injury. All right, we trade him for Glenn Rice and Vin Baker. That doesn't really work out that well. Vin Baker's done. Glenn Rice at the end of his rope. We get we still have Sprewell in Houston. That should have been a decent team, but defensively, without an anchor, it wasn't. It wasn't the same team anymore. Sprewell gets traded by dumbass Scott Layden. Sprewell comes and he yells, playing for the Timberwolves. He yells at Dolan like, "How the fuck could you trade me?" Blah blah blah. We give Allen Houston, I'm just wrapping up the Knicks history. We give Allen Houston $100 million, and immediately his knee goes out. We traded for Marbury. We traded for Eddie Curry. Oh God, we signed Jerome James before we traded for Curry. Then Jerome James was rendered useless. We still had to pay him $36 million over 6 years. What else happened? Blah, 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 blah. We get Zebo. We get Jamal Crawford. We never put a good team together. Hired D'Antoni. Wait for the summer of LeBron. LeBron goes to Miami. We get Melo instead. Everybody thinks we traded too much for him. We actually did we brought back Chauncey Billups, but Chauncey Billups is done. We amnesty Chauncey Billups so we could sign Tyson Chandler. Oh, we also did sign Amari Stoudemire, but Amari Stoudemire had 1 year on that knee. one MVP level year on that knee. By then he was done. Melo gets no help. Phil Jackson comes in, puts the triangle offense in there. The night of the draft, everybody in the draft room said, draft Donovan Mitchell. Draft Donovan Mitchell, draft Donovan Mitchell.
Is that the Porzingis?
Oh, Porzingis, we drafted Porzingis. That was a good draft pick. But the 28, I think the 2018 draft when we finally fired Phil, it was 17. It was 18. No, 17. I want to say 17. And everybody wanted him to draft Donovan Mitchell. He doesn't draft Donovan Mitchell. He drafts Frank Ntilikina.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what do we do? What do we do after that? After we immediately fired Phil Jackson. So we let him do the draft when everybody in the draft room wanted Donovan Mitchell, but he wants Frank Ntilikina. Then we fire him. And we trade Melo. Well, for at least for the Melo trade, we get Doug McDermott, but we also got the draft rights for Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is still with the Knicks. Thank God. A couple of years of Fizdale as coach.
Oh, you skipped the Linsanity years.
Because that's a footnote. See, everybody loves the Linsanity shit. That was Linsanity was 13. You don't realize the Linsanity was like 13 games. No, it was like 20 something games. But the whole controversy that everybody wants to talk about Linsanity, blah blah blah. Melo hated Lin. When Melo came back, the schedule picked up. We were not playing no more Toronto Raptors with Calderon. We weren't playing the Brooklyn Nets. We were playing the Mavericks, who were defending champions. Your Spurs beat the hell out of us. The Bulls, who was still a contender, right? Derrick Rose didn't blow his knee out yet. The Heat. Remember when the Heat blitzed and pressured him because he had no left hand?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So Melo was like, okay, hey guys, can we change up the offense? Blah blah blah. Melo was hating on Lin. We just lost 6-7 games because Lin was getting exposed. You're treating Melo like he's Quentin Richardson with your old son standing in the corner. Okay, what people don't remember about that season is we fired Mike D'Antoni, and in the first game we played against the Portland Trailblazers. No, we played against the Portland Trailblazers. This is the year before they drafted Dame, but they still had LaMarcus Aldridge and company and Nick Batum and them guys. And we beat them by like 40-something points the first night. Then the next 2 games we played against Paul George, Danny Granger, and the Indiana Pacers. We beat them back-to-back nights. So the Knicks finished that season. Sorry. The Knicks finished that season 18-6. Lin got hurt 11 games into the Winston tenure. He tore his meniscus. He didn't play again for that season. But Melo, I remember a game against the Bulls. They went in overtime. Melo hit like 2 clutch shots. And a big dude with Derrick Rose in them. Okay, the Knicks got to the playoffs. No point guard, no Lin. I believe what happened. No. Yeah, we played against the Heat. So no Lin. In 2012, we played against the Heat. And in the first game, Amon Shumpert tore his ACL. And we won with Nolan and Mike Bibby. We had Baron Davis running point guard. He tears his ACL in game 4. Then we had Mike Bibby limping around as our 3rd string point guard. Yeah, that's his last year in the NBA. Secondly, either last year, I think he might have played with Miami after that, or whatever. I think he got a ring, something like that. I don't know. But that was it. That was it. That was that. We got 1 game off the Heat. We let balloons go in the Garden because we finally won a playoff game for the first time since 2000. Yeah, but what was Lin in all of this? Oh yeah, he was rehabbing his knee, and then he signs with Houston. Okay, that's the end of insanity. Melo then came in, and next year we beat the Heat by 20 on opening night. Had a 54-win season. Of course, though, everybody on that team was old and got injured come playoff time. Again, so Melo era, again, the comedy of errors, the The front office deserve to be the villain, but they make Melo the villain. One of these days, I'm gonna really, really talk about Melo, bro. No, you know what, Speed? No, I know. I remember this, and I remember a lot of inside sources here in New York. Melo was a big Lynn supporter. There wouldn't have been no Lynn said. Melo was the one that said, "Hey, you got to at least try this kid out," because Tony Douglas is not running point guard, especially the way you want it. This is like we're getting our asses kill out there. So what Melo did again, Melo went to the Olympics, and then he saw Lynn sign his contract, and he called it a ridiculous contract because Houston took the poison pill where they paid him like $5-6 million the first couple of years. Then they paid him a ridiculous like 14-15 million the last year. Remember, this is when $15 million was a lot of money. Like max players were making 15 million. So the way they made it where the Knicks just we're gonna have to spend too much money in that third year. And they're like, freak it, we'll just trade for Raymond Felton. We're not gonna pay all this. This guy's not that good. What happened? After 1 year, Lynn lost his starting job to Patrick Beverly. I'm just saying. Y'all forget this.
Yeah.
Just forget this. Okay, Lynn was actually supposed to be the star player of Houston. And you know what Houston did before the all season was over? Oh, they traded for James Harden. Oh, that was the end of that. Well, Lynn played with Harden that first year in the starting lineup, but they were bringing Beverly had developed that year in 2013, and next thing you know, Beverly was pretty much the guy playing over Lynn in the crucial part of the game. By 2013-14, Beverly was starting point guard, and Lynn was coming off the bench. Then he gets traded in 2015 to the Lakers, where Kobe Bryant is hating on Lynn. So Lynn was a nice role player. And he had a career if Melo didn't say, hey, Mike, play this guy. I'm just saying. But, the Melo era and all of that. And then now we're here. Now Leon Rose got the job, built the team up. Now we're in the conference finals. And I think, I think the Knicks will be contenders for the next 4 to 5 years. And hopefully we win a championship this year. If not, we got all the moves, all the assets to make moves to win next year. This is the life of a New York Knicks fan. It's not that bad. I'm just saying, bro, imagine being a diehard Hornets fan.
Hey, you throwing strays at us. Throwing strays.
I'm just, bro. But I've always said this.
I mean, that's the truth.
The Knicks can't be bad when we need to be bad. Then you guys are thirsty. I'm like, bro, we're like any other team. Forget OKC 3 years ago. They would have one of the worst teams in the league. That's why they got Chet Holmgren, second pick of the draft, right? This couple of years, I've asked this many times. If somebody said 3 years ago OKC was going to win 68 games in a couple of years, would anybody have called them delusional? I'm just saying, no. If you know basketball, if you understand this and the way teams need to build with young talent, be financially responsible, fiscally responsible, so you have money to sign the free agent that you need. Stop going for these stupid super teams. Stop trying to put these super teams together. At least build a young core. And like you said, the San Antonio Spurs, we were talking about them trading for Giannis. And y'all have the assets to trade for Giannis. Guess what? So do the Knicks. So I think Miami. People think Miami is going to get Giannis without trading either Bam or Hero, and they're crazy. You know what I mean?
That's almost impossible to land him without trading one of them. That's.
Oh yeah, Lynn did either Mark came on when the Chinese sat too. But again, bro, like look, black people can braid their hair, sir. I mean, my fellow FBAs and my fellow Africans, because that's what are we culturally appropriating Africa? Well, no, we're Africans in our blood and our history, but people can get braids. Like if you have hair, you can braid it. I'm just saying, like.
That's fair.
I mean, shit. I've seen people braid their dog's hair. You know what I'm saying? So people can have brains, man. But look. So I'm trying to, just wrapping it up. The Knicks are here now. We've built the team right. Say what you want. We got flaws. It's like any other team is flawed. And you saw how flawed the Boston Celtics were. Just saying. King 10 toes down. King's speech told you that the Boston Celtics shoot up all them threes are not going to work in the playoffs. They were not going to work in the playoffs. Shoot more threes and twos. I think the Knicks, whatever the Knicks do in the rest of the series and or the finals potentially, the Knicks struck a court win for basketball because Lord knows we do not need a team taking more threes and twos going back to back winning a championship. I'm just saying.
I gotta call facts on that. That's
definitely so. The West lesser than the talent. Yeah, I mean, I think the conference has been. If that's what you're talking about, the conferences. I think the conference has been equal for a little while, man. I really do. Just I know the West had more 50-win teams this year. It seemed like everybody was a 50-win up into the play-in, and I know Memphis, who was the AC, wound up winning 48. So it seemed like one of them vintage 2000s eras, Kobe era Western conferences. But I do believe three of the best. Indiana is showing you they're a team that can play with anybody. I think the best 5 teams, and I know Milwaukee never got it together, but I think Milwaukee was as good as anybody in the West, especially Houston. Right, remember Houston is the 2nd seed. So I think Milwaukee potentially, if they had a healthy Dame, would have been. And if Portis never gets suspended, I thought they were as good as anybody in the West. And again, they flamed out in the playoffs. They had too many injuries. The Kuzma didn't play that well in the playoffs. But I think the Knicks, the East had 5 good teams. The West had 8 to 9 good teams. I still think Dallas, without all the injuries, would have been good. But but yeah, here we are in the East. I mean, here we are in the East Conference Finals. Yeah, the Knicks are a better team than the Pacers. I know the Pacers. The Pacers, when they play their best game, they can beat anybody, and that's the thing that's scary because of their offensive punch. But I believe the Knicks defensively have the answers for, and trust me, if Neesmith has another big shooting game, I'd be very surprised. And if Halliburton has a good game too, I'd be very surprised. But yeah, man, this is look, game 1. Thank God this happened in game 1 and not game 5 of a 2-2 series. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, man, this has been a good show, bro. I've been monologuing most of the part. CW been chiming in. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Definitely wrap it up here. I'm gonna try to go. Try to go. Well, I know Zay said he's going live over the weekend. He might let me simulcast and all that. And I appreciate him letting me up there, man. Shout out to Zay, man. I'm a big fan of you. And Speed, definitely thanks for chiming in, man. Thanks for coming through. I feel honored, bro, to have one of the Sunday panelists again. I think y'all the best Sunday show, man. I'm holding my hand in solidarity for Dart, bro. I don't know what happened. It's just YouTube, but we got to teach each other and how to avoid these little strikes and whatever, man. But that's a definite loss if MJFB can't do. It's not on the channel, but I think I said Dart.
We try to help him get back because
man. And again, if you ever want to come on, I don't know. Again, I don't know if they ban you from even like showing up on a live stream, right? Like I don't know, but no, they can't do that, right?
Nah, they can't do that.
Yeah, so just keep keep visible, and fight for your channel back. I know. I mean, look, I was a big fan of Mumia City and Ali, one of the friends of Kevin Samuels, man. He lost his YouTube channel because I don't know. I don't even know what. Like they alluded to it, but I didn't really get the details. But he had a great YouTube channel going on. Real good content. Not the most subscribers, but the engagement. The engagement in the super chats he got in his lives was great, and he would go on live for like 6-7 hours. But he does this thing on Rumble, you know. But bro, listen, I'm a little bit of a historian, bro. I'm a little bit of a historian. People don't know. So it's like when don't talk history to me because you don't even know your history. I know. When I could tell you I know your team's history better than you, I probably know your team's history. Remember, I said the Dallas Chaparrals, right? When the last time you thought of the Spurs, the Dallas Chaparrals?
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't know that. So yeah.
You
You
know what
taught
I'm
me
saying?
something tonight. So
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Remember the Dallas Mavericks didn't come in 1980.
yep.
You know, they got what do they have? 2 champions. No, they have the Dirk one, and then they have they just got a Dirk one.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So it's like, man, look, you can talk shit about it. It's not like everybody get a chance to win a championship every year. But now, this is the era of parity. Every 6, 7 teams, I would say 10 teams can say they can win a championship at the beginning of the years now. You know. Cliff Hagan. Yeah, Cliff Hagan, man. That's another good name I ain't think about in a while, man. Bro, the fanboys over there because I made a Lloyd Vaught point, right? When I cooked Lamont. Again,
you talking about that mid-range stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the mid-range stuff. And I said Lloyd Vaught makes more mid-range than Kevin Durant, an elite mid-range player today. So then the idea that you saying, you know, because I said everybody had a mid-range back then. Muggsy Bogues had a mid-range.
Yep.
Steve Kerr had a mid-range. Now nobody has a mid-range. You think Anthony Edwards is an elite mid-range player. This is the next thing, right? This is one thing about Anthony Edwards' game. If he had a mid-range, they wouldn't be down too long. It'd be 1-1, at least. Anthony Edwards has no mid-range. He's a three-point shooter and a driver to the basket. And when one of them is off, if he ain't getting to the basket and his three ain't dropping, Minnesota's highly beatable because they don't have great playmaking outside of him. Randall is their next best playmaker. Randall is actually their best playmaker. He literally led them in assists this year. But a lot of you don't know that. But yeah, man. All right, bro. Yeah, I know it's getting late. We gotta get to bed. This is a great show, man. Appreciate you for coming through.
Appreciate you guys coming out too.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the love in the chat, and we actually got some views today. So yeah, man. We're just trying to get better and better and better, man. This is gonna get better. Yeah. And like I said, anybody wants to pull up, come through, man. All right, boss.
We try to do this every Thursday, so yeah.
No doubt. No, we might be moving days because of my man JB's schedule. But we're gonna talk about that. And,
okay, just let me know.
No doubt.
Yep.
No doubt. All right, man.
All right, y'all.
Have a good night.